As Afghanistan falls, Joe Biden goes to bed early.
Mr. Reagan.
All right, so what is this all about? Apparently, the White House is in chaos at the moment. This was a tweet that was tweeted out by Jack Posobiec. This was written about on a website called the Palmieri Report. I'm going to just go ahead and read the article for you. It says, Human Events senior editor says that staffers openly fighting in White House, Biden goes to sleep early. Now, any time that there is a PR nightmare like the fall of Afghanistan, there's going to be a lot of chaos in the administration. And the reason is because they got to scramble and figure out how to make themselves look not terrible, right? Because everybody at this point, even CNN, is basically saying that Joe Biden messed up, right? That this is a total disaster. And we don't need to go into all the details of why it is such a disaster. You've seen the footage. This is on Fox News pretty much 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at this point. It's such a disaster. It doesn't really even need to be discussed that much. It's being discussed all throughout the news. But we can discuss how absurd it is that Biden says, you know what? I'm going to sleep early tonight. Because to me, that is crazy. So let's go ahead and read this article and we can talk about the chaos at the White House. First, of course, I have to tell you something. Apple recently released a long-awaited privacy feature that prevents you from being tracked across websites. Facebook relies on tracking more than any other business, so it's not surprising that they're trying to change this. Apple users now have the ability to choose whether or not they want to be tracked. Opting out will prevent their data from being used for ultra-targeted ads. Now, while this is a step in the right direction, this new feature won't completely protect you online. To do that, you're going to need a VPN. And this is why I highly recommend Virtual Shield. Right now, Virtual Shield is offering 50% off for life to my subscribers this month. I keep Virtual Shield turned on the entire time, both on my computer and on my phone. With the kinds of videos I make, I definitely need it. I never know who might decide tomorrow that I'm a target. Now, Virtual Shield is the quickest and easiest way to make yourself anonymous online. All it takes is a push of a button. Once it's on, my browsing data is hidden from my internet service provider, corporations, and hackers. Try Virtual Shield risk-free with a 30-day money-back guarantee by visiting virtualshield.com/Mr. Reagan. That's virtualshield.com/Mr. Reagan and get 50% off for life by signing up this month. All right, so what does this article say exactly? According to Human Events senior editor Jack Posobiec, the Biden White House is descending into fighting among rival staffers. He said that Biden's chief of staff wanted to get Biden back to the White House, but Jill Biden blocked it. She said, "No, my husband needs a nap." Kamala refused to do a press conference because she's focused on Haiti and not Afghanistan, because nobody wants to take the blame for Afghanistan. Kamala's just like, not my problem, not my problem. You threw the whole border crisis in my lap. I am not taking this Afghanistan thing. So in the usual Kamala Harris protect herself fashion, she has just thrown up her hands and said, I don't want anything to do with this. These are the actual tweets from Jack Posobiec. This guy, if you don't follow his Twitter, you really should. He's really on point. He's got a lot of inside information. He says, Ron Klain wanted Biden to rush back to D.C. yesterday afternoon to the Situation Room, but Jill stepped in saying that Biden could project his leadership from anywhere. And this is according to a White House official. Biden can project his leadership from anywhere. I'm pretty sure that's a euphemism for something, and we don't need to know about that, Jill. Jack Posobiec then writes, Shade War is going hot. Kamala refused a request to do a presser today, said she was focused on Haiti, not Afghanistan. Now staffers for the rival teams have been openly fighting all day per White House official. Now, see, this is a problem, I think, in terms of you want a vice president who supports you. You want a vice president who gets up and defends you, who talks about the issues of the day and says, no, this is my captain. My captain is doing an ace job. Leave him alone. He's awesome. You don't want somebody who goes, you want me to do a press conference? I don't think so. That's your mess, okay? Kamala Harris believes that she's going to be president soon, and she doesn't want this tainting her presidency. She doesn't want this to be something that is in any way connected with her. She is the most selfish, nastiest politician I have really seen since Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi, I think, is the worst, but Kamala Harris comes in a close second. But then Jack Posobiec says Biden went to sleep earlier than usual tonight. This is, again, according to the same White House official. He says he was confused by all the conflicting intel reports. Wait, what? But you said that Afghanistan's going... Do we have helicopters? No, we have jets. What's going on in Kabul? Okay, I don't... You know what, guys? I'm just going to go to bed early. You deal with it. Oddly, I think this is probably what happens every single day to Joe Biden. Instead of going to bed at his usual 7, he went to bed at 5. And then Rahim Kassam, he works over at War Room with Steve Bannon. He writes, much like Jonathan V. Swan was the best sourced reporter in the Trump White House, Jack Posobiec is the best sourced in the Biden White House. And I think that's right. Jack Posobiec always tends to have some good inside information on the Biden administration, and he's got his contacts. He knows what he's talking about. The real question is, what's going on with Joe Biden? He's hiding out as Afghanistan burns. What's really strange about this is that I haven't really seen this reported anywhere else, and I've never actually heard of the Palmieri report. People should be reporting on this. Jack Posobiec is on point here. If he's writing that a White House official is contacting him and telling him that Joe Biden's going to bed early, I think we need to all sit up and listen to that. I mean, that's a huge indicator. I don't think anybody who watches my show is in any way surprised by that. But, that is something that I think should be reported more broadly, more widely. I think people need to know exactly how ineffectual Joe Biden is and how little he's actually doing. He's not really acting as the president. A president does not go to bed early. As a nation that U.S. troops are occupying or evacuating falls to essentially a terrorist organization. He stays up late. He works out exactly how to manage the withdrawal. This is a mess that Joe Biden cannot handle. And I think that this proves pretty concretely that Joe Biden is totally unequipped to be president. I mean, this is exactly what we said, when Joe Biden was running for president. We all said, come on, there's no way Joe Biden can do this job. It's not possible. He's too old. He's too frail. He wants to go to bed early. And, we said it as a kind of joke, but we knew it was true. And this is proof of that. It's hard for me to believe that this is our president. It doesn't seem real. It seems like we're in some kind of bizarre dystopian fairy tale. All right, well, that's it for me. And remember, it's not that our liberal friends are ignorant. It's just they know so much that is not so. See you next time.
Those who would trade our freedom for the soup kitchen of the welfare state have told us they have a utopian solution of peace without victory. They call their policy accommodation. They say we offer simple answers to complex problems. Well, perhaps there is a simple answer. That we want our national policy based on what we know in our hearts is morally right.